Have you evaluated your week one goals so far this year? My name is Mario Ficini. Welcome to the Mario Ficini Show. And tonight we're going to be talking about your financial goals for your business, your metrics, your guide, your dashboard, whatever you want to refer to it as. But the important thing is you're looking at it because, like my favorite comedian Chris Rock says, you can drive a car with your foot if you want to, but that doesn't make it a good idea. That is true and accurate. You can drive a car with your foot if you want to, but you really shouldn't. Maybe your knee, maybe your leg, maybe you're eating something. But seriously, if you were to cover up your dashboard, your speedometer, your oil change meter, your temperature gauge, the wheel tire pressure, if all those metrics, all those guides, would you ever in your life just not look at it? Of course not. That's ridiculous. You would be looking at it. How often do you look at it? When you're going down the road on the freeway, do you use the cruise control or are you constantly monitoring the speed? Maybe you don't care. Maybe you're always looking at it. What about the oil? What about the gas gauge? How many buttons, how many notifications are there? So I like to use that example in my speeches because everyone can relate to a vehicle, to a car. But how often do you get notifications, reminders about the metrics of your business? How many leads did you get today? How many of them closed? What was the conversion rate? What is your cost in? What is your ad spend? What is your return on ad spend? What are all these numbers? What do they all do? Or are you just looking at them for one time a year during tax season and going, should probably do better than that? So put your comments in the questions below. Put your questions in the comment below, and we're going to get going with this. That's better. So what are you using? What are you using to acquire clients? Is it all word of mouth? Are you doing any live casting? Are you sending out emails? Is it all one-on-one? Regardless of what you're doing, you can tie a metric to it. One of the easiest things you can do is look at how much time it's taken you and what you're getting for that time. I remember one of my favorite clients. We were talking about 2-3 weeks into my 8-week training, and she was telling me everything she wanted to do. No, she was telling me everything what she was doing. And I go, have you ever looked at this? It's real easy when you have an ad spend budget. It's real easy when you're paying for advertising and you can say, hey, it's costing $1.37 times 100 people. Here's the conversion rate, and Facebook might be giving you the metrics. Maybe Google's giving you the metrics. Heck, maybe you have a Excel spreadsheet that's all fired up with all the numbers in it. And that's all well and good. You should be checking that stuff daily. Set as much of it to be giving you reminders on a daily basis as possible. But what do you do if you're not doing some of that stuff? I'm not doing A, B, or C. I go, okay, what are you doing? And she had told me, and most of it was in-person stuff, whether it's an event or going to different networking things or talking to people one-on-one, coffee appointments, coffee dates, as I call them, whatever you want to call it. And there's other people who say, I don't want to spend money on advertising. Okay, well, you're going to spend something. It's either money or time. So write those down. So we start doing a break-even analysis, and I'm walking her through it. And it was 15, 20 minutes into the call. We were getting pretty granular with it. But at the end of it, I go, you do realize it's costing you 4 to 6 hours to acquire a new client. And then we attach the dollar amount. What is your time worth? $10 an hour, $20 an hour, $50 an hour, $100 an hour, $500 an hour, $1,000 an hour. Whatever that number is to you, attach that to what you're investing with your time. It's probably costing you, forget the fact you can't get your time back. That alone should motivate you to want to pay for advertising. That alone should motivate you. But if you're not, all right, let's just be smart business people. Look at what it's really costing you in the terms of time and dollars, and then compare it. There's no way you're acquiring people faster one-on-one with a high conversion rate. There's no way. And you can't even reach the number. That's the other thing, the plateau. Hey, how's it going? I see you just joined. Welcome. If you got any questions, put them in the chat box here. And you're also, I invite you to hit the, what do they call it on here? YouTube is subscribe. What's it called? Notifications, register, whatever it is. I invite you to hit it so you don't miss the next one, and we'll keep getting your questions answered. Glad to have you here. But what are the metrics of your business? How often are you looking at them? Is it a weekly thing? Is it a monthly thing? Is it a quarterly thing? Or is it like me in the past, about 4, 5, 6 years ago, when, hey, it's tax season. Here's the numbers. Cool. Don't recommend it, but you know what? If that's you, that's why I'm doing this. Don't worry about it. It's a new day. It's a new year. It's a new you. I'm thinking of Les Mis in high school, When Tomorrow Comes. Every day you have an opportunity. 96 opportunities a day to change anything about your life and business you want. What are you doing to capitalize on it? So, I've got a few more minutes. I wanted to do this real quick for you, but look, what are the metrics? What is your business revenue goal for the month? What is it for the year? What is it for the week? Write these down. You can just grab a sheet of paper, write it on a napkin. Here's one of mine. I was like, I was looking for some paper, right? I was doing some things. I go, whatever, imperfect action. And now I probably should put a date on it, but I have an audience on here. And I go, well, you need to know the metrics. So I did it the end of December. And now when I check the numbers on here, I will tell you it's gone up significantly. But you need to know where you're starting. If you look at wherever you're at today, just copy all those numbers down. Another thing you can do, put them in your phone at the beginning of each month. What are your numbers? What's your fuel tank on? How much oil do you have? What's what voltage is your battery at? What's the tire pressure? Where are you going? How fast are you going? You might have a Lamborghini, but if you got 9 PSI in your tires, there's no way you're going to get to top speed. You might have a Ferrari, but if you have 1 quart of oil in the gas, if you only have one, don't put oil in the gas tank. If you only have 1 quart of oil in the tank, that's pretty risky. If you have 1 gallon of gas in the gas tank, wouldn't recommend going too far or too fast. All these things play a role, especially on a subconscious level. If in the back of your mind, you're going, I really don't know what my numbers are. No idea what's going on here. Haven't checked anything in a year. How confident are you going to be projecting? Here's what we're going to do to help you and attract more people to you. It's pretty difficult. So even, I'll leave you with this. Do you have retargeting pixels? Do you have Google Analytics? Setting it up on a daily and weekly basis is a habit. Okay? You're going to have to create the habit of going in there. But my question is, and I'll put it in here. We'll end it with this. Where's the little button? Love that. Do you even have it set up? The number I wrote down on here for one of the audiences, you have to wait a day or two, a week or two for the numbers to start tracking. But guess what you need before that? You need to have it set up. How much oil is in the oil tank? How much gas is in the gas tank? What's the tire pressure? I don't know. Did you even unlock the vehicle? Did you even get in it and turn it on? You need to know these things. So, my final thoughts are, do you even have it set up? Start tracking your metrics. Start looking at it. We'll come back in a couple of weeks and comment below with what you're comfortable sharing, where you're at now, maybe the email size list. Maybe it's your Google Analytics, how many visitors on your website per day. It's so easy to set up. Just set it up and forget about it. And we'll come back in a couple of weeks and do a follow-up this to see where you're at. But make sure it's set up, because it doesn't matter how fast you want to go. It doesn't matter what path you're taking. If you didn't even open the door and get in the driver's seat, turn the car on, you haven't even begun to worry about the things. You haven't began to think about the things you need to be thinking about to even get where you're going. At least open the door, get in the driver's seat, turn the thing on, make sure it's set up, and we'll come back to you. Have a great day, and God bless.